So we have looked at the effect of housing on education and health. Now we look at the effect of housing on crime and security. So low quality housing is linked with crime as there are not many employment opportunities and limited police presence. It also leads to more threats from local mafias, more availability of drugs and guns, and there are more chances of female harassment, child and female trafficking, as well as sexual abuse. So all these things are related to low quality housing or no housing. There are also intergenerational costs of housing. So if you do not have proper housing, it may lead to stunting and malnutrition, which is a lifelong problem. So you will suffer from that. If your parents are living in an area where there are no schools because of an area where there are not many proper housing, it may lead to illiteracy and low skills, which will lead to next generation also suffering because of low housing effects. Low housing or no housing will also lead to informality in terms of employment, and this will also lead to low jobs with low quality and with less money available. Housing is not considered a right. Even after all these things, its effect on health, education, crime, security. In the 1973 Constitution, the housing is mentioned, but it is mentioned in terms of property rights, not as a housing right. So the Article 24 says that the government can take away the land from a person or from a group if this land is required for some public need like a housing project. But the Constitution of Pakistan do not consider housing a fundamental right. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights, however, considers housing a part of the human rights. So the Article 25 says everyone has the right to a standard of living adequate for health and well-being for himself and for his family, including food, clothing, housing, medical care, and necessary social services, and the right to security in the event of unemployment, sickness, disability, widowhood, old age, or other lack of livelihood in circumstances beyond his control. So many national constitutions have accepted housing as a right. So the South African Constitution, which was promulgated in the 1990s, it says everyone has the right to have access to adequate housing. But more and more people are considering housing as a human right. It's a right where you are free from discrimination based on race, based on religion, gender, color, sexual orientation, caste, marital status, age. It should be free from health hazards, high rents. It should be secure. It should be free from domestic abuse and with the extreme effects of climate, and it should be free from immediate eviction. So housing should be without all these different kind of problems. However, housing and primarily renting is linked with some implicit discriminations. So there are credit checks to force the poor people or lower middle class people from not renting in certain area. Rental history or employment history is employed in a similar way. Then people coming for renting a house are asked for a security deposit which poor people cannot give. Income information is also asked, which also leads to discrimination. A newer kind of discrimination is looking at the social media, the political and religious views of the people who are trying to buy a house in your locality or rent a house in your locality, and then not allowing them because you don't like their views. There is also another way of denying people you don't like or you don't look like by asking them to get approval from the previous residents. So if the previous residents do not allow a certain group of people from coming in a certain locality, they can stop it. Thank you.